Hello and welcome to ePod. I'm Ben and we'll be joined by Sam, John and Kyle. So then, what have you been up to this week?
So I saw quite a worrying statistic the other day, which was that 1.56 million years of healthy human life has been lost from air pollution so far this year. So look at that, and we're only 16 days into the new year, so it's pretty worrying, really.
But to be honest, it doesn't really surprise me. Looking at some other figures, according to one survey, nearly 9,500 people die each year in London alone because of air pollution. So just across Europe alone, how many people dying because of air pollution?
That's true.
Big cities.
All the major cities there.
Yeah, presumably from respiratory disease as well, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's pretty worrying.
Particle
Some
inhalation.
further studies also found that in 2008, air pollution was responsible for about 29,000 deaths solely in the UK.
Just in the UK.
Just in the UK.
But is that pollution mostly like traffic or commercial or industrial or what?
Well, can't be said, but traffic certainly is a big contributor. Something here which is pretty shocking. They estimate that combustion exhausts across the UK cause nearly 5,000 premature deaths each year. By comparison, there's been about 1,850 deaths due to road accidents. So more people die from the pollution from cars than they do from actual car accidents.
Well, the EU are trying to put a stop to this, aren't they? They're kind of trying to get rid of...
brought in some regulation.
Yeah, so the regulation that they've recently brought in says that there can be no more than 18 separate events where the NO2 levels rise above a certain amount per year, basically. So far this year, there's actually been 21 separate events just in London on a single street. So that's, I don't know, a bit of a joke, really, that we've really broken it.
Is that regulation like for the whole country or per city?
That's per city, I believe.
Per city. 16 days. What, if we work that out? That's going to be, 54 divided by 16 is going to be like about 280 events at the end of the year?
Most likely, yeah, which is really diabolical, really.
Yeah.
But you think it is...
Well, I guess NO2 is sort of more dangerous than CO2 by quite a bit.
Yeah, you look at all the different deaths all over the world every single year. You look at other cities such as Beijing, Mexico City, all these places that really, really suffer with bad air quality. You think about how badly the population.
Yeah, Beijing and Mexico City do have quite a lot of a higher sort of population density. There, there's a lot more people.
But then they're also contributing to suburban areas outside of cities, towns outside of city. That's even happening in the UK, considering it's an island. It has been said that 7,000 of the deaths mentioned before are due to pollutants being blown in from the continent.
So
pollution happening on mainland Europe are contributing to deaths in the UK. So you just imagine the level in China and Mexico, as we were saying before.
Yeah, and it's not just health effects it's causing. The ice age that we've been due has now been delayed by 50,000 years due to the increased amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
That's quite a long time, but I mean, for us, we'll never see that happen, will we?
Yeah, so it's not really... It's a staggering thing to think about, the fact that we can alter something so drastically where the Earth should be covered in ice currently.
I mean, it is quite a big footprint to leave behind.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just clear evidence of the Anthropocene, which is the modern human era.
Yeah.
In sort of the geological timescale.
But I don't see how it could help kind of motivate people to be a bit more responsible and try and cut down the carbon footprint because they don't care about the ice age.
In 50,000 years' time.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's my great grandkids there.
Well, still though, you look at the effects of it. Like, for example, Cumbria recently. Obviously, it's had massive effects from flooding. Also, Scotland, and these all could be real effects of climate change. They all come from the flooding this year has been really bad because of El Nino. Possibly, and the effects of it have been really bad. But El Nino is directly affected by climate change as well, so it's all a knock-on effect.
It just shows it has both sort of global and geological effects, and yet everyday day-to-day effects as well to people's lives.
Yeah, it is actually very hard to put a timescale on it. No one has... It's all predictions, isn't it?
So, it's all predictions. It's all very sort of hard to predict as well because it's constantly changing because we are constantly burning fossil fuels, producing pollution. And we're constantly pushing it further and further over the edge. But I mean, this is actually quite positive because if we can have this much of an effect on the climate of this Earth in like a bad direction, surely it's just as easy to do it in a good direction, or then it's just as hard.
But I suppose it
also... I
also...
have to disagree. It's just motivating a whole world to take such actions would be optimistic at this stage.
It is rather than just stopping these behaviours and these actions, it's reversing, doing the opposite of what we were doing.
Yeah.
I guess to make up for our mistakes. So it's kind of twice as much effort as just stopping. Yeah. We're not just simply stopping doing what
we've
we're doing.
We've gone downhill, now we've got to go uphill.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a slog. Yeah. Well, there's and the fact that we need 1.67 Earths to actually support our current needs as a human population,
and the population is still growing.
Yeah, so. And the fact that it's growing at a faster rate than ever now that China got rid of their one-child policy.
Oh God!
It's just thousands of people. I don't see a positive way out of this. If I'm honest, that sounds really pessimistic.
Well, we should probably try and instill some sort of hope in this talk.
Yeah. Well, I
guess, kind of aim to inspire.
On a slightly less horrifying note, actually. You know the Panama Canal?
Yes.
It's it's just like this big trench that they.
I know what a canal is. Yes.
It's slightly bigger than that because it's for cargo ships.
Okay.
It's so they don't have to go all the way round the bottom of South America. But no, yeah, there's this Chinese company HKNB that have made a deal with Nicaragua. It's supposed to be 11 kilometres wide, the complete zone of it. And I just wonder how many rainforests and just wildlife habitats they're just going to chop through to dig this. What is effectively going to be a square trench for these giant liners.
Oh no. And also, because boats are made out of wood, so that's more rainforest being chopped down.
They don't make boats out of wood anymore.
It's not an ark, John.
They're all, made of hard.
Mate, if it was an ark...
I think you've gone a bit overboard.
If it was an ark, at least Noah would be able to save the animals that...
that ship has sailed.
No, yeah, it's... the thing I don't get, because I was reading about this, and... The company has given the Nicaraguan government $100 million for this deal, so that they get to do all the work.
The deal has been signed then. Is it definitely going ahead?
I believe so. Yeah. But the Nicaraguan government makes $100 million in 2 months, so I don't get why.
Yeah. They're a relatively stable country, aren't they? Compared to
they're doing quite well. It's a stonkingly high cost as well. $20 billion for all that stuff.
But then just. The revenues, the money.
I guess actually it would create a lot of jobs, which is good.
But
I can see this being economically good for the country, but I mean,
that seems to always be the argument with any sort of environmental issue. It's kind of saying, it's not great for the environment, but it will create more jobs. We have to look at it that not just what benefits humans, but what benefits nature and the planet.
Balance.
Yeah, and that there's no balance there, is there?
No.
Alternatively, you could say that the fact that they're making a shortcut, it would cut the amount of times that these ships would actually be sailing.
But
reduces fuel costs.
Why can't we just cut back on everything?
It might not necessarily reduce fuel costs because it just means that the ships would be making more trips.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they're expecting more trade, I guess, from this. So why can't they just be less demand? Why can't we just cut demand? We don't need all these canals and.
On another note, with shipping, the Panama Canal is actually quite famous for being quite corrupt at times. In its history, it's had quite a lot of things go through it that it shouldn't. So they have a lot of waste that goes through there from the United States, and it goes out towards sort of Hong Kong and Australasia. So they've had human body parts and also nuclear waste and that kind of stuff that's gone through there. But the corrupt officials have allowed through, and you've got to think, will the Panama Canal, will the new Nicaraguan Canal make the same mistake and allow hazardous waste through?
It doesn't scream ethics, does it? Just thinking about this.
No. Well, I looked at a plan for the routes that they were going to take, and they were going to just literally carve out the Rio Juan River in Nicaragua, which is basically its identity.
Yeah.
They were just going to literally just dig it this big trench and get rid of it until half of Nicaragua went. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No. Please don't.
I mean, whatever happens, there's going to be something's going to have to. There's going to be lots of compromises. Something's going to have to give.
I want to know where they're going to put it all. All this material that they've dug out. Where's it going to go?
Good point.
Good point, Sam. Build some nice palm tree shaped islands like Dubai.
You could.
Yeah.
You could. That's. I mean, the fact that they're pouring the sand on just as quickly as it's getting eroded.
That's just money talks,
No, it's kind of good.
That was satire right there.
Well, I think we're trailing off a bit here, so
should we pause it?
We'll call an end
to
this. It was lovely having you here.